25 iconic 1980s. Stores that couldn't be saved. At one time, these were the stores everyone visited. Places where you could try on clothes, listen to music, and even drop your children off at a play area while shopping. Now, they are all just memories. What happened to these shopping cathedrals that once defined the 80s? Let's explore the legendary names that have vanished over time. RadioShack. For electronics enthusiasts in the 80s, RadioShack was a store. It was the DIY technology heaven. Stepping into RadioShack, you could smell the distinctive scent of new electronic components and the latent magic in every drawer, every shelf. The store was likened to a beacon of electronic wonder, attracting people who needed exactly one coil, one resistor, or a hard-to-find connector. Before the internet exploded, if you needed an emergency battery or a special cable, RadioShack was the only place you could rely on. RadioShack's role was even greater than that. It played a key role in the early days of personal computers with the TRS-80, one of the first affordable home computers, bringing technology into the homes of thousands of people. The chain initially started in 1921 through mail order, specializing in serving amateur radio. However, as technology became increasingly accessible through large retailers and then the rise of online shopping, RadioShack struggled to maintain its unique niche. Management issues along with the digital development led to bankruptcy in 2015. Although it attempted to transition into an e-commerce website in 2020, the golden era of the physical components heaven has ended. Blockbuster Video. In the 80s and 90s, Blockbuster Video was the reigning king of movie rentals and an essential symbol of Friday nights. The feeling of walking through the doors and seeing the bright blue and yellow logo sign became a ritual for families. Founded in 1985 in Dallas, Texas, Blockbuster represented the physical entertainment experience. Strolling among the movie shelves, touching the VHS or DVD cases, and debating which film would be the highlight of the weekend. Its peak was astonishing. By 2004, the chain had over 9,000 stores globally, employing more than 80,000 staff. But this empire collapsed quickly. The first wrong move was poor management and the refusal to adapt to technological changes. When Netflix's mail-order service began to grow, followed by the appearance of video on demand, Blockbuster could not catch up. The convenience of streaming completely overshadowed the physical shelf-browsing experience and the fear of late return fees. Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy protection, and the last lights on most stores truly went out in 2014, ending an era that is now only a nostalgic memory. Abraham & Straus, A&S. Abraham & Straus, often shortened to A&S, was an iconic name, representing the luxury of department stores in New York City. Looking back at the 1980s, A&S was more than just a place to shop. It was a social venue where people looked for high-quality clothing, shoes, housewares, and jewelry. With a long history dating back to 1865, A&S carried a prestige and classic feel that few retail chains could match. These stores were an integral part of the major city's retail structure, attracting customers with a blend of premium merchandise and traditional service. By the 1990s, the overall retail landscape underwent a major shift. Federated Department Stores, the parent company of major rival Macy's, acquired A&S. For many brand enthusiasts, this was a foreshadowing of the end. The transition was quick. The respectable Abraham & Straus name officially vanished in April 1995. A&S stores were replaced by Macy's branches. This disappearance ended a part of New York shopping history, swallowed by the consolidation of large corporations. Toys R Us. Just hearing the name is enough to recall laughter, bright lights, and the excitement of a child standing before countless toys. This was not just a toy store. Toys R Us was a universe of wonder. It was a beloved destination, a heaven where childhood dreams came true. The image of Geoffrey the giraffe and the timeless jingle, "I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid," captured the brand's pure appeal and joy. In the 80s, it was the center of holiday traditions, where parents lined up to buy the hottest items like Cabbage Patch Kids and Transformers. But even such a powerful toy empire could not withstand the times. Toys R Us faced two fatal enemies. First, fierce competition from giant mass retailers like Walmart and Target. Second, and more importantly, was the heavy debt burden from a previous leveraged buyout. When online shopping strongly emerged, offering superior convenience compared to the in-store experience that was Toys R Us's unique advantage, the chain failed to adapt. The decline led to filing for bankruptcy and the closure of most stores in the US, UK, and Australia. Babbage's. For technology enthusiasts and gamers in the early 80s, Babbage's was a familiar and promising name. The store was born in 1987, initially focusing on retailing personal computer software. During this time, finding quality and the newest software required a specialized destination, and Babbage's met exactly that need. The store quickly grew, becoming a hotspot for tech fans, eager for video games and emerging electronic products. It represented the cultural shift as personal computers and digital entertainment began to take over households. The story of Babbage's is not one of complete decline, but of evolution. As the game console market exploded and reshaped the entertainment retail industry, Babbage's skillfully transformed itself to embrace the new gaming era. This iconic transition culminated in 1999, when this iconic 80s brand became GameStop. Although the name Babbage's has disappeared, it left a legacy as the foundation for a later game retail giant. This renaming marked the shift from a personal computer software focus to the dominance of video games, reflecting changing consumer priorities. If this video brings back good memories, please support it. Your support will help nostalgic content like this live on. Woolworths. More accurately, the F.W. Woolworth Company. It was a retail giant that deeply influenced American history, founded in 1879. Stepping into the 1980s, the chain carried a huge legacy. It pioneered the concept of the five and dime store. Woolworths was famous not only for cheap items, but also for its lunch counter, which served affordable meals and played a significant role in social history, especially during the civil rights movement. Woolworths was an integral part of the downtown and shopping mall experience for decades. Customers could find everything from household goods, clothing, to jewelry. However, by the late 80s, the retail environment had changed significantly. Woolworths faced fierce competition from larger, more modern discount stores, such as Walmart. While these competitors adopted the efficient big box model, Woolworths struggled to adapt and modernize. Ultimately, this diverse department store chain had to close, although its parent company successfully transitioned to sporting goods retail. Circuit City. Circuit City emerged in the 1980s as an unmissable destination for consumers seeking new technology. With its characteristic red logo, it was the destination for everything related to electronics. From TVs, stereo systems, computers, to video games, Circuit City offered it all, turning the store into a heaven for gadget lovers. Their groundbreaking concept, the Circuit City Superstore, launched in the 80s, revolutionized the electronics retail industry by offering a wide variety of products under one large roof. This provided convenience and selection that smaller electronic stores could not match. Even pioneers can stumble. In the 21st century, Circuit City began to face severe difficulties. The 2008 financial crisis dealt a heavy blow to consumer spending, especially for non-essential electronic items. At the same time, the rise of online shopping and competition from other big box chains eroded their market share. The inability to compete on price and convenience led to an irrecoverable decline. Circuit City finally filed for bankruptcy and proceeded with a complete liquidation of operations in January 2009, closing the doors of one of the most famous electronics retail brands. Hollywood Video. If Blockbuster was the king, Hollywood Video was certainly their strongest contender for the throne. Founded in 1988, this video rental chain once thrived and quickly expanded to become Blockbuster's main rival. Hollywood Video stood out with its large area stores, allowing them to house a huge selection. About 16,000 VHS tapes and later DVDs. The experience at Hollywood Video was similar to Blockbuster. The excitement of finding a new release, the feeling of strolling through genres, and the social interaction of discussing movies with friends. The fate of Hollywood Video was tied to the survival of the physical entertainment format. When streaming services like Netflix and Hulu began to emerge and become popular, the convenience of watching movies at home with just one click overshadowed the physical shelf browsing experience. Why drive to the store and face the risk of late fees when you can watch instantly? This shift was too fast and too radical. Hollywood Video's parent company, Movie Gallery, declared Chapter 7 bankruptcy in 2010. Sam Goody. You know, Sam Goody was the heaven for music lovers. Starting from a small record store in New York in the late 1940s, Sam Goody grew into a retail empire. The chain was famous in the 80s as the ideal place to find vinyl records, cassette tapes, and later CDs, becoming an important destination for anyone wanting to update their music collection. Notably, Sam Goody pioneered mail-order sales at a discount price for LPs, an innovative strategy at the time. Walking into Sam Goody was a cultural experience. The feeling of flipping through albums, reading the liner notes, and discovering new artists. This was an integral part of the physical music experience of the 80s and 90s. But then, the digital revolution dealt a fatal blow to the physical music retail industry. The arrival of MP3s, online downloads, and piracy profoundly disrupted their business model. Although acquired by Best Buy, the parent company Musicland was unsuccessful. Sam Goody faced bankruptcy in 2006, leading to the closure of most stores. Peaches Records and Tapes. Peaches Records and Tapes, a name associated with unique music culture, was a true cultural center in the 80s. Established in 1975, the chain quickly expanded to about 50 stores, offering a wide range of music genres, attracting a large number of avid fans. What truly made Peaches memorable was its visual element. Peaches stores were famous for the colorful, giant album covers decorated on the outside of the buildings. This was not just a record store, but also a piece of street art, creating a strong and appealing brand identity. Peaches created an immersive shopping experience where the music-loving community gathered. However, even cultural innovation and strong identity